Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and as predicted, the new DLC for GTA is coming July 20th, that's this Tuesday, and there's a lot to unpack in this one, so I'm going to showcase the Newswire post first, just read it all through and show what they've released, and then we'll go back to each individual section and talk about it a little bit more. But like I said, there is a lot to unpack in this one, so we'll see the video first of all. But it's basically it's like old school Fast and Furious, Need for Speed Underground from years ago. That's coming to GTA. You know, GTA Wise Guy did the whole Tuners and Outlaws DLC, trying to push for that, and it looks like basically that has finally come to fruition. So yeah, July 20th, that's Tuesday. Los Santos Tuners coming July 20th. Join the Automotive Underground in the latest GTA Online update. On July 20th, the underground tuner scene in Los Santos roars to life with the launch of GTA Online Los Santos Tuners. In addition to a ton of action-packed tuner-based missions and races, this update introduces the LS Car Meet, a gigantic, shared social space where you and your cherished personal vehicles can mingle freely with fellow car fans to race, show off your customized vehicles, and even link up with shady contacts looking for skilled drivers and a chance at easy money. The LS Car Meet, I guess we're getting images of that as we're going through, obviously. To get started, you'll need to visit a nondescript graffitied warehouse on the edge of town in Cypress Flats. Listen close and the sound of engines revving might give it away, or look for the makeshift finish line on the road outside. Inside, the LS Car Meet has a good vibes only policy, making it a great place to skip the attention of the law and any small-time chumps looking to terrorize the citizens of Greater Los Santos. Park your attitude and your weaponized vehicles, and your oppressors, at the door, and share your love of car culture with some like-minded personalities. Here you'll find countless ways to immerse yourself in the beating heart of the scene, showing off your prized personal vehicles from your collection, or check out everybody else's. I guess this is a way to have public... we'll leave the comments until I've read it all through. LS Car Meet membership. To start, you'll unlock a new reputation progression with new benefits unlocking after each level. Plus, you'll get access to the test track, a large underground space inside the Car Meet warehouse where you and your friends can drive, drift, and race vehicles freely without interference from pesky pedestrians or the law. You can also sample new test rides in the test track, your chance to get behind the wheel of a rotating selection of vehicles and push their limits. Looks like it's going to cost $50,000 to become an LS Car Meet member, or at least that will get you even more privileges. Members will also get to compete in rotating prize ride challenges for the opportunity to win a special prize ride and get access to a range of special shops and features, including the merch shop, tattoo shop, and the modding area, where you can show off your customization prowess to other players in real time as you work on your stanced build. Higher level members, presumably this will be more in terms of buying things, can also create a private takeover complete with customizable lighting and banner colors to decorate the Car Meet space to your tastes. Interesting so far. New races. Los Santos Tuners introduces new races inside and outside the Car Meet, which each with their own leaderboards. On the test track, you can engage in friendly competitions like head-to-head, where speed and precision will give you the necessary advantage to beat your opponent in a short format race, and Scramble, where up to 4 players race to collect 20 checkpoints. Time trials around the test track give you the chance to put your vehicles through their paces and score your own personal record. Up to 30 players will share the track space with you, but contact will be disabled while competing, and members can also go into the private test tracks solo. Off the test track and throughout the city, there's also new race series for members, Street Race Series and Pursuit Series. The Street Race Series delivers exactly what it says on the can, bruising competition on creative tracks built on the streets of some of Los Santos's most scenic neighborhoods, complete with shortcuts that are as much about risk as they are reward. The Pursuit series offers drivers a more open-ended experience, with checkpoints placed sparsely throughout the map to encourage creative routes. After all, you'll be competing against your fellow racers as well as having LSPD's finest hot on your heels. Meanwhile, Sprint offers a point-to-point challenge in free mode with up to 3 other drivers in a breakneck race from the LS car meet out to various locations like LSIA and back. Earning rep. In the underground world of the car meet, reputation is a valuable commodity. Earn rep by participating in and winning races, daily login bonuses, putting in time on the test track, and even just hanging out at the car meet. Earning rep gets you an assortment of rewards to elevate your status in the scene. These include unlocking access to all sorts of fashionable gear, flashy new car customization options like new wheels and liveries, as well as trade prices on certain vehicles, access to new race modes, and even the ability to hold your own private car meet. New vehicles. I mean, we've seen a lot of them already throughout the pictures, but we get some names already before we've even started. So we got the Karin Calico GTF, which is, I think that's the car that we originally saw as the first image. Then we got the Karin Futo GTX. That better be a monster. Anis Euros, which kind of looks like a clean ZR380, almost. The Vapid Dominator GTT. Looking very nice, kind of like the classic Dominator Classic from the Project Homecoming and mods. The Anis ZR350. This has been a long requested, an RX-7 in the game. Makes its return from San Andreas, the ZR350. Dinka RT3000. The Warrener HKR. The Tailgater S. The Jester RR, and the Remus. Interesting that a lot of these vehicles, I can't help but comment on this, are variations of existing vehicles, like the Tailgater. Maybe it'll be an upgrade that you got to buy a Tailgater and then upgrade it like you do with a Benny's vehicle. You take the Sultan and you upgrade it into a Sultan RS. Maybe you take a regular Tailgater and upgrade it into Tailgater S. Same with all of these cars that are variations of pre-existing cars. I don't know, maybe. Naturally, this update to GTA Online will inject a whole new ensemble of fresh vehicle inventory across Los Santos dealerships, ranging from imported tuner cars from Anis, Dinka, Ubermacht and more, to that straight-up vapid muscle that Americans have come to know and love. There will be 17 new cars in total over the course of the summer, with 10 dropping at launch on July 20th. So basically 7 weeks of drip feed. That's not as much as what we've had over previous DLCs. I don't mind having all 10 initially. Plus, when GTA Online launches on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S later this year, select vehicles will be upgradable with all new speed improvements and more. These special upgrades will be available only on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of Grand Theft Auto 5. Stay tuned for more details. Interesting, okay. Los Santos Community Meetup. Playing GTA Online from now until the launch of Los Santos Tuners will give you the opportunity to earn some special rewards. Just meet up by playing GTA Online anytime between now and launch to get the Los Santos Customs Tee, and participate in any impromptu race accessible via the interaction menu to receive the Los Santos Tour jacket. Play and earn special rewards. Stealing and successfully selling a vehicle to Los Santos Customs in free mode will also earn you the Los Santos Customs coveralls, perfect for your inner grease monkey. Claim your rewards by playing the Los Santos Tuners on or after July 20th. Your items will land in your wardrobe 72 hours after logging in after July the 23rd. And more. Stay tuned for more details on Los Santos Tuners at the Newswire next week, specifically a look at contracts for new robberies where you'll put your driving skills to the ultimate test alongside a familiar face from the music locker. Well, this is considering, this is probably the DLC that's been most up my alley as a GTA car oriented YouTuber since Cunning Stunts back in 2016. So it's a lot to unpack. Let's go through it. Obviously, I'll preface this already by saying DLC day, I'm going to be live streaming on Twitch. Usually go live at about 9 a.m. UK time, twitch.tv/Bruffy1322. I'll be streaming. I'll be going through everything that we can see at the minute. Normally, I get to see some of the cars that are being left for the drip feed as well. We'll explore it together. And obviously, vehicle testing for all of these new vehicles will happen both lap time and top speed. There's going to be 10 cars at launch, so you're going to have to, as I always say on these DLCs, testing takes time if you want it done properly. So curb your expectations a little bit and maybe be a little bit patient. Don't pressure me, but it will get done, and you'll be able to know which of these new cars are going to be the quickest ones to use. So the LS Car Meet, first of all, this looks like it's the main hub where all of this starts. We're going to go to a specific place out in Cypress Flats and probably enter a building, and we'll be transported into this underground location where there's going to be sort of mod shop, it seems like, tattoo shops as well. No weaponized vehicles allowed in here, which is beautiful. Good vibes only policy. I like all that. Lots of images, by the way, of all these new cars. Looking forward to trying out all of these. I imagine they're probably all going to be sports cars, let's be honest. The sports class already has over 70 vehicles. I imagine it's going to have well over 80 at the end of this. No real supercars in this one, it looks like. So I wouldn't expect anything from the supercars class, maybe. Unless they do a Sultan RS, Banshee 900R and put some weird vehicles in supers. Anyway, LS Car Meet test track, and also the idea of test rides in the test track. It seems interesting. Maybe it says that there's going to be a rotating selection of vehicles for that. So one of the criticisms that people a lot of the time say is that you can't try these cars before you decide to buy them. You could be looking on the website, you go to a Hustler, and you think, oh, that looks cool, and you don't know anything about how it drives and the fact that you need to brake half a mile before you get to the corner and it doesn't really want to turn. Great fun to drive, but people might not be wanting that. So maybe that's an idea of it's disappointing that it has to be a rotation. They should just really just allow you to try out some of these, any car that you want. But step in the right direction there if that's what it is. And obviously the test track will be interesting to see what that's all about. I'm sure it'll be fairly small because it's going to be, in an underground location. Prize ride challenges as well. That seems like it's on the idea of the casino podium vehicle, except you've got to complete the challenge to get whatever is on the podium at that point. Maybe another way to get cars, and they'll rotate through like they do with the casino podium. And then, interestingly, obviously it said merch shop, tattoo shop, but also modding area, where you can show off your customization prowess to other players in real time as you work on your stanced build. Really interesting. Now, that's something that you could already do if you had passengers in your car and you drove into Los Santos Customs. As you were modding the car, adding bits to it, changing paint colors, things like that, people who were passengers in your car would also see that. So I guess this is just kind of a increase of that idea. I don't know what the word. I can't think of the word. They're taking that idea, but putting it front and center into this modding area, where I imagine people will just be able to walk around as you're in there, modding your car as you want it to. Interesting with the high level members also creating a private takeover. I wonder whether that's going to be like, the penthouse in the casino where you can buy a specific area to yourself. Obviously, it wouldn't be possible if you were thinking it realistically of 30 players or hundreds of thousands of players all with the same underground car meet, but maybe it's a similar idea to the penthouse and we will have a property to buy, or it'll just be sort of a temporary thing with a one-time fee. I don't know. But interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see the car meet location. It sounds more than what I was expecting it to be. I was kind of expecting it just to be a version of the casino parking garage where you can take your cars in and show them off. But it seems like it's much more built up on that. Seems like they're building on a few already existing ideas and putting it all together for this. On that point, races, a lot of these races that they describe seem to be sort of impromptu races turned up to 11. You know, the Street Race series, the Pursuit series, Sprint, they seem to be basically like an impromptu race that you would do in free mode, but yeah, like a newer version of it with newer features and things like that. It'll be interesting to see what they're like. Probably never going to replace, you know, the kind of racing that we do on proper tracks, but hey, it'll be interesting to try it out at the very least. And also time trials on the test track inside. It seems like there's a lot of different stuff. Obviously, head-to-head, scramble. Which one was it? Pursuit series with the open checkpoints sparsely placed throughout the map, basically bringing back cannonball runs in their own way. Again, as with all of this stuff, it's all about the implementation when it comes to Rockstar. We don't know how they're going to implement it, and it could be very restrictive or no good, but you know, it sounds interesting. And yeah, the test tracks and the time trials on the test track with 30 players sharing the space with contact turned off could be interesting as well. So yeah, I mean, that'll all obviously take place on the first stream. We'll check it all out. A lot of cars here, and it seems like you'll be able to, you know, the fact that there's a guy here sitting on his car, maybe you can interact with your car when you take it in and be able to sit on the hood, or obviously you can open up doors and bonnet and things like that already. So reputation, this is kind of the progression system of the LS Car Meet DLC, I guess. Reputation's a valuable commodity. Earn rep by participating in races, login bonuses, putting in time on the test track. And earning rep gets you assortment of rewards. Again, it seems like they're taking the ideas from a lot of different DLCs and existing features and bringing them into this. It sounds very similar to the sponsorship points. I think it's sponsorship points in the arena. Or it might be arena points, but whichever one it is. The Arena War DLC was so complicated and annoying. I hope that they've simplified this system from that, because that was a mess, and I hope it's not as grindy as that either. But earning rep for the car meet gets you a lot of assortment of rewards, unlocking access to all sorts of fashionable gear, flashy new car customization options like new wheels and liveries, as well as trade prices on certain vehicles, access to new race modes, and even the ability to host your own private car meet. So it feels like there's a lot that is locked behind this reputation and getting these rep points. So keep in mind that, you know, I want to test all these vehicles. Some of these vehicles you might have to get to a certain level of reputation before you can even unlock them or something. I don't know yet, but obviously I'll be doing it. We'll find out on Tuesday. And then obviously we had the new vehicles. I talked a little bit about them already. This was the vehicle that we saw originally in the very first image that we got about this DLC. A Futo GTX sounds very interesting. I'm excited about that. The Euros, again, it looks like a clean ZR380. I know there's going to be I know that I'm not that much of a car guy, honestly. I know, amazing, right? I'm more of a racing guy than a car guy. I know there's two types of Nissan that look very similar to each other, and I feel like this is going to be the older version, and the ZR380 is based on a newer version, and I'm just getting them mixed up, but they look very similar anyway. The Euros, it's basically a clean ZR380 at this point, let's be honest. Why they didn't make it just a ZR, let's not get into that. The Dominator GTT, again, kind of taking ideas from the modding community, I guess. With the Dominator GTT, it's like I think it's the Dominator Classic in the modding community. And the ZR350, I'm pretty sure there's already a ZR350 that exists as a mod, vehicle mod, and we raced it on Project Homecoming and things like that, but now it's officially in the game and people have wanted this for a while, an RX-7, so that makes its return. It's going to be really weird if this is a ZR350. We've got the ZR380, which is the weaponized version, and then called something completely different for the non-weaponized version of the ZR380. I'm sure you guys will, correct me in the comments. The RT3000 we've got as well. It looks like a pretty fun car. And the Warrener HKR. The Warrener's a great car. often overlooked. So I'm curious to see. And again, yeah, like I said before, these are existing vehicles that are getting. It's almost like the Sultan and the Banshee experience. You take a Sultan to Benny's, you can upgrade it to the Sultan RS. You take a Banshee to Benny's, you upgrade it into the Banshee 900R. Could be the same thing with this. You take a Tailgater to the car meet area or whatever, and it becomes a Tailgater S if you want to pay the money to upgrade it. Same for the Warrener. These are all pre-existing cars. The Jester RR looks very interesting because it kind of doesn't look like a Jester anymore. At least the regular Jester that we're used to. So yeah, interested about that one. And then the Remus as well. So it's very, there are muscle cars. Obviously, there's a lot of tuner type stuff here. A lot of liveries, I imagine, with these vehicles. I can't see it being more racing oriented in terms of the racing that I like to do. Cunning stunts. If you say the cunning stunts is basically the racing DLC, the name of it gives it away. It is the tuners DLC. But obviously, we'll put these cars through their paces and race them on the regular tracks that we do anyway, and check them all out and see if there's any new that are quickest in their classes. Can't see anything being outside of muscle and sports at the minute, though. Those classes are going to get even bigger, I imagine. And then the one other thing was, 17 cars, so 10 dropping at launch. And this time last year, they dropped all, I don't know how many cars it was for the Los Santos Summer Special, but they dropped all of them at once. I really enjoyed that. I liked having them all. Maybe for this one, they're dropping 10 and they'll either do 7 as drip feed or maybe keep 7 back and drop 7 of them all in one go. I kind of like that sort of double way of doing it, which they did around the time of, I think it was the Nero came as one when they were doing that before they went full on drip feed of leaving cars back every week. But nice that we'll get more than half of the cars at launch at least. And then this bit interesting about the next gen versions of the game. I feel like this isn't just going to be specific to these vehicles, honestly. Obviously, this select vehicles will be upgradable with all new speed improvements and more on the PS5 and Series X and S versions of the game when they launch in November. And they're only going to be available on those versions. They're not going to be available to anyone staying on PS4 or Xbox One. I feel like that's just a taste of something, one of the improvements that we might get from the Enhanced and Expanded Edition. There could be a wide variety of cars where they change a lot of stuff with new speed improvements and things like that. Quite how those upgrades are going to work, who knows? Obviously, we're going to get more details when it gets closer to the Enhanced and Expanded Editions, but we might see cars completely change. There might be new upgrades in Los Santos Customs, or there just might be a complete change of car performance in general when we get to, I can't imagine them being brand new cars. Like you've got the Tailgater S and then that's going to turn into a Tailgater SR or something like that. Will they stay the same when you go to the expanded and enhanced editions, and then there'll be another upgrade for a different car? Or it's too early to say right now, but at least it's an interesting aspect that we're at least getting some insight into how the expanded and enhanced editions are going to change the game a bit. But obviously that's a few months away. And then, various things that you can do, as I read, to unlock a few bits of clothing before you get to the DLC on Tuesday. And then more details about contracts that will be at some point before the DLC drops as well. New robberies where you put your driving skills to the ultimate test alongside a familiar face from the music locker. I think we probably saw something about that in the trailer, but I don't recognize any faces from the music locker, let's be honest. I went in there once to start the Cayo Perico DLC and never again. So yeah, contracts intriguing. Maybe there's going to be a way to make money with this DLC. I would hope so. Usually with these summer DLCs, they kind of don't. But hey, it's not going to be a Cayo Perico heist or a casino heist. But if there's a way to earn a bit of money it's somewhat on the level of Cayo Perico stuff, it's not going to be that profitable, I imagine. But as long as it's somewhat close, for driving well, then yeah, and I guess I'll look at the cars that are available and which cars are going to be best in those situations as well. So yeah, there we go. A lot to unpack. This DLC is kind of bigger than I thought it was going to be, but as always, temper your expectations because they can write. They write well, Rockstar, and then you get to the DLC and you spend an hour looking at everything, and then you realize you're done, and half of the stuff is irrelevant, or you don't want to do it anyway. So yeah, obviously there'll be a lot of work for me with the testing. I'm going to be getting out the testing as quickly as I can, as always. Just be a little bit patient because it does take time because I like to do it as properly as I can. I'll be looking at obviously the drip feed vehicles as well, showing those off as soon as I can. And as I said, I'll be streaming on DLC day on Tuesday the 20th at 9 a.m. UK time. I'll put up another video on the day when I'm going live so that you know and you get a notification that I'm live. If you want a notification on Twitch, follow me on Twitch already. But yeah, a lot to unpack, a lot to cover on DLC day. There'll be plenty of videos. This is right in my wheelhouse. Cars, racing, speed, all this kind of stuff. This is what I do and what I've been doing for the last 8 years. So yeah, this is a DLC for me, this one. So I'll see you all on Tuesday, I guess, unless there's some major updates. If they talk about contacts and a new Newswire contracts and it's not that much, I probably won't make a separate video for that. I'll just wait until Tuesday and go through everything there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts about what this DLC is going to bring down below in the comments. Feel free to check out the stream, twitch.tv/Bruffy1322 and follow there so you know when I go live on Tuesday. And I'll see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye bye.